Separately from the workers, we've been involved in charities since the beginning of our operation. We donate money we donate cigars, we promote events, we organize the events ourselves, either casino parties that donate all the casino revenue to the charities. We do Christie's auctions where the money raised from the sales of some of our old vintage tobacco cigars are being donated to children's hospitals or being donated to orphanages, and we do these in different countries, and mostly it has been in Asia.
I actually was noticing, we were talking about the construction process of your cigar and intubado. One of the things you pointed out was how intubado differs from the bookend method. And I noticed just a minute ago, like I've got a bunch of Padrones at home and a couple of Tatuajes and some other sticks as well, that the veins on those cigars, when there are veins, go straight down. These couple of veins in this stick go at an angle. So talk to me a little bit more about the intubado bunching.
Okay, well, the entubado bunching is specifically related to the filler tobacco. It's a very circular method of bunching the filler tobacco in your hand. There are a couple of different ways of doing it. Book is one that you mentioned, which you can easily picture in your mind as you're listening to this. It's like a book. It's like folding the tobacco into the shape of a book. Accordion is like folding the tobacco in the shape of a Z, like an accordion. And entubado is when we actually roll the leaf in your hand in a circular shape. So it's literally like a circle. If you look into the end of one of our cigars, especially one that has Maduro in the filler, you can see something that's in the shape of a circular swirl, like a chocolate ripple ice cream in a circle. And this is one of the things that you can see in our cigars. And compared to one of the ones we looked at yesterday, it looked like the shape of a Z. That was an accordion method. So incorporating this entubado bunching, you end up with more even tobacco distribution throughout the cigar. You end up with a little bit firmer draw, and that, in my opinion, allows for a little bit more tobacco and a little bit better smoke, at least from my personal taste. I've smoked a lot of cigars that are not rolled in tobacco, and I like them just fine. So it's not particularly better or worse, right or wrong, but it's what we believe is the finest and highest skill method of making a cigar. You know, you make Ford makes a car, there's nothing wrong with it. Mercedes makes a car, there's nothing wrong with it. But the engineering in a Mercedes is significantly better, and it's obvious when you roll up the window, you shut the door, you drive it down the street, you feel that difference. It's not that one is wrong and one is right. It's just there's a difference in terms of the attention to detail and the rigid engineering standards that went into that car.
And this goes back to your quality control issue where you roll them entubado because you believe it's a better method in your opinion, but overall it's just different. Interesting question for you. What about box pressing?
Box pressing can be done, could pretty much be done with any method of bunching. However, I've seen a couple different ways people do it. Some of them do it with the molds, the wooden molds that are in the factory. After you bunch and bind the tobacco, you shove it in a square-shaped press. And then I've seen it where they simply take lightly packed cigars and they jam them inside of a box that it basically can't fit in, and they shove it in and they leave it there for several months. Any of those methods are okay, and it's simply a personal preference, and we actually don't do it, but there's absolutely no right or wrong or better or worse out of something like that. I've seen Padron do it, and I would never say anything about Padron is less than perfect.
Yeah, I gotta agree. We've unfortunately talked way too much about Padron on the show before because he's just the anniversary. You know what I'm talking about. Tell us more about the different lines you offer. You mentioned you offer the Don Cervantes, the Proprio, and one more.
Yeah, Don Cervantes is the brand we're bringing to the United States right now. Propio is a very modern brand, which you can tell when you're looking at it. We incorporate the same construction standards. However, the imagery, the blends are all very proprietary to us. The tobaccos are very proprietary. The methods of fermentation are very proprietary. And the imagery is very sleek and modern. We're using aircraft aluminums. We're using carbon fiber. We're using Ferrari red in some of these accessories. And these are very unique tastes and very unique appearance, both from cigar all the way up to the accessories and everything across the board. Lavinia is a brand that I suspect we will not bring to the United States as a whole brand, only in a few very specific cases for specific clients, because this brand is not very accessible in terms of price. Not only are we using the oldest leaf, our farm has been in business since 1952. We are using the oldest leaves we've ever had storing in the factory, on the farm. The farm has been exporting wrapper leaf for years, so we have a lot of filler that's been aging for years. And we use some of these very old leaves. We blend very, very old blends of cigars. And then the accessories are one step above this planet. I mean, they're like in the stratosphere when it comes to design and workmanship and the absolute unparalleled elegance. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. And unfortunately, I can't show it to you on a radio show, but people can look on our website. We have those three primary brands on our website, and you can look through the photos of both Don Cervantes, Propio, and Lavinia, both cigars and accessories, and you will see every aspect of that Lavinia brand, from the cigar bands being a laser cut and embossed, unbelievably meticulous piece of art wrapping the cigar, all the way to the craftsmanship that is unmatched by anybody in these accessories. Seamless woods with no seams. I mean, I can't even describe it. So I would encourage everybody to take a look and see what I'm talking about. The website address is www.acc.ec, and take a look through the different brands of both cigars and accessories, and I think you'll be quite impressed.
I personally was definitely impressed by what I saw on the website, and again, that address is www.acc.ec. Give us some final thoughts. We've hit about 40 minutes or so, and I want to go ahead and wrap up with some final thoughts and go back to smoking, because the cigar that I got in my hand is really good. And I got to tell you honestly, when I got up here, I chose a Merlot, just not even thinking about it, and I had intended to bring the Masterpiece Gold and the Masterpiece Platinum, and I brought them both with me. And wanting Maduro, I wanted something soft and supple. And I'll tell you, listeners out there, for those who are wine enthusiasts or alcohol enthusiasts, the Merlot that I've got is really, really soft. It's velvety smooth. It's supple. It pairs very well with the Masterpiece Platinum. As I mentioned earlier, the flavor profile is it's delicious. If you pick it up, you cut it, you light it. I took the cap off earlier because it's just, unfortunately, I screwed up my cup. And again, I'm not looking at binder. I'm still looking at actual cap. So that's got to go back to your triple cap rolling, right?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the aspects. And that's one of the things we put into consideration. A lot of people like to chew on the end of the cigar, not consciously, but they end up doing that. And we were concerned that the wrapper leaf could unravel if you chew on it too much. So that's why we took an extra piece of tobacco, which we cut out by hand and ring around the end of the cigar before we cap it, so that you have that extra added measure of protection from damaging the end of your cigar and unraveling it, and then thus not enjoying your smoke as long as you could.
I have smoked some cigars where I get to about 2/3 down, and of course the wrapper falls apart, and I'm just, at that point, I either spent too much money on the stick or whatever, and I'll finish it, and it does differentiate in taste, and I don't see this as happening with these.
One of the reasons that this came up is before we were introducing our brands into the United States, we were developing cigars and brands for a lot of the other luxury brands in the United States and internationally. brands like Bombardier Private Jet, Sunseeker Yachts, Ferrari, Jaguar, Bentley, Royal Salute, Glenmorangie, Rolls-Royce. We've made cigars and accessories for some, or in one or another or both of all of these kind of brands, which you can see on our website.